or the title, what set you belong to, you probably asking what's this all about. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, it's something that's been on my heart, my mind, my soul for so many years, so many years. As the further I got into Christianity, the further I got with my faith and building my faith, especially from growing up in church settings and things like that, it's gotten to the point, at least with me, for some years now, that I feel like with the next time I approach another Christian or I approach somebody else who says that they are, a believer, I'm going to ask them what sect they belong to, what clique you go with. Because honestly, that's how it feels like. It feels like no matter what you say, somebody's got something against it, and somebody's got something to say, and then they don't want to talk to you because you belong to this clique over here, and this clique and their clique, they're not together, they're not cousins, they're not brothers. That's old little gang knowledge for you guys right there, And I've been saying this for so many years. I was part of my little situation back in the day. I'm not even gonna say who they were or anything like that, but talking to family members, talking to people that I was in church with, and I used to express this to them all the time and tell them like, look, bro, I just feel like I'm part of a gang. You guys make me feel like I'm part of a clique. We believe in certain doctrines, we believe in certain theology, we believe in certain, however we look at whatever we're looking at right now. But the next church down the street or the next church down the block, or wherever you want to say, they got a different opinion. They got a different way of looking at things. They got a different way of seeing things, and we don't vibe with them because they're wrong. But then it comes to, and I'm not bringing no Bible scriptures or anything like this. For me, it's just a lot of common sense. When you look at what Christ did on the cross, then he died for all of us, and then even that becomes a big topic. It becomes a big thing amongst the Christian believers and stuff like that. And it's gotten to the point, really, you don't even know really what to believe in anymore, because this one says that, the other one says the other. This one's over here talking about this, and this one's over here talking about that. But then you don't even know where to go. Who's telling the truth? Who's not telling the truth? Who's real? Who ain't real? And then you've been involved in this church or the clique, the set, what I want to say, for so many years. And then you come to find out that what they've been saying has been a lot of baloney, a lot of bull crap. So then you go to another church and you spend all your time going back and forth, and you just feel like you're part of a big old gang, And it causes so much confusion among people, man. It really does. It gets me so hot because every time, like I said, I encounter somebody, and I have this going on in my own family right now. I have this going on right now in my own family, my own blood, with certain individuals, that they found Christ. They found whoever they found, right? And then all of a sudden, everything that they have known that you've taught them since little, I think y'all know where I'm coming from. Now everything goes out the window because the church that they're going to now is saying something different. It's saying something completely different than what than what they learned. And now that's the truth for them. And then it's like, okay, so who you belong to now? Now you belong to this clique over here? Come on, man. We got to stop playing around when it comes to church. We got to stop. That's why people outside of church. People who don't believe, or atheists, or whatever you want to call it, or just even people who have fallen back from church, have really just say, you know what, I'm done with this crap. I'm just done. I'm done with this crap. I'm done with this mess, because it's just big old confusion. I'd rather find God on my own. I'd rather go, do what I gotta do. I'd rather go on YouTube. I'd rather go on TikTok. I'd rather go everywhere else to find God, to be sitting inside this church, because you guys, if you're not riding with us, then you are just not saved anymore. You just ain't saved. And I have such a big thing against that. Man, come on, man. We gotta start getting real with people out there. And the church is so messed up. We got one side over here that's still stuck in the old doctrine, and still stuck like they're back in the first century. Then you got the new churches over here that a bunch of motivational speakers and this, that. And don't get me wrong, I like them. You know what I'm saying? I like them a lot. But we got to start like getting out of this whole situation where if you're not part of a clique, like I want to say, if you're not part of that clique, then you just a nobody. And I'm just venting a little bit. I've been, like I said, I've been holding this for so many years. So many years I've been holding this in. And I just got into the point, I said, you know what? That's why I'm going to come on here. I'm going to say what I got to say. That's why I started the whole Spoken Truth Revival, because I'm just tired of the whole silly mess. Be who you are. Be authentic. Be what you got to be. You know what I'm saying? Study the Bible for yourself. Study the Bible for yourself. Get into the Word. Get into it. Resonate. Put a lot of common sense to a lot of things. You know, and then you start finding out your own truth. Everybody's on their own walk. Everybody's on their own path. Everybody is on their own journey. So for me, let's say for what I believe in, I can't stick it down y'all's throat. I can't stick it down this person's throat over here and tell them, you know what? Well, this is the truth. This is the truth. You got to listen here, and you got to be a part of our clique. And don't let the church find out. Don't let the church find out, because if the church find out that you speaking to the other side and you speaking to the, and it's like, no, bro, we can't be like that. We cannot be like that at all. When people are saying, hi, how you doing? But what I'm trying to say is like, we can't be like that. It is causing so many confusion, man. So much people out there just being all messed up with everything they got going on. And I'm so sick of it. I am so sick of it. You know, and like I said, experiencing that in my own family right now, it's like, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And like I said, I was part of a gang myself back in the years. And I had pulled some rank, and that's where I pulled my theology from when it comes to a lot of stuff that I'm talking about. We were structured. We had a manifesto, you want to call that. We had our book of laws and this and that, and everything else. And the church, for me, what I'm seeing right now, it's the same exact thing. And I'm not bashing no church. I'm not bashing no church. Everybody come up here, I'm not bashing our church. I'm trying to be raw. I'm trying to be truthful. I'm trying to express what's in my heart. I'm trying to tell y'all what's really going on. And for those who get it, those who don't. But we causing too much confusion, and too much confusion among everybody out there. I'm telling you right now, my son, one of my sons, you know, he was one, we brought him up in church, just like that. The old doctrine, how I grew up. He got older, started getting into his little things and stuff like that. And even him, he started recognizing the same things. And I didn't even have to tell him nothing. He started recognizing the same things. And then guess what happened to him? He stopped going to church. He didn't want to feel it, because for him it was like, y'all heard this before. And I know you guys heard this 1,000 times, and it's going to be said again. There's more hypocrites and more liars inside the church, right? And then the funny thing about it is this. Check this out. The funny thing about it is this, right? It's not even the church, let's say for the clique, against another church. Even with inside of the church itself, now we got different sets in there too. Now there's different cliques, you know, and I experienced that. So if you go into the church and you're not part of, let's say, the worship group, or the people who have been there a little bit longer, and you don't really connect with them, right? Oh, then you're not part of that clique neither. You're not part of that set. There's so much division inside of those walls, and too much of it. And what they are failing to realize, or what the church is failing to realize, is that you guys are messing people up. And then you wonder why nobody shows up in the church. And then you wonder why nobody's doing nothing. You know why? Because you guys are creating this environment that nobody want to be a part of. Nobody. Now, I believe in the Bible. I believe in God. That's why I have my channel. The truth that I speak, it is raw, unfiltered truth. I got into the point at 43 years old, I don't even care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody thinks of me. I don't care about none of it no more. I don't care about none of it no more. I'm here to speak the truth and speak what it is and what needs to be said. Doing this live thing Whoever catches it, you catch it. Whoever don't catch it, then you can keep on going that way. Because when I'm speaking, I'm telling y'all, whether you want to believe it or not, it's knowledge. And at the same time, that is truth. Do me a favor one day. Walk inside whatever church you go to. If you do go to church, walk inside that church. Go ahead. And just like I used to tell my kids, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Keep your eyes peeled. Look around and look at everything that's going on right now. Look at everything that's going on right now. They told the one these people that I know, one of my family members, right? They told them as they were going inside the church, now don't listen. Don't listen to anyone else because you guys are babes. So with you guys being babes, we don't want nobody else to indoctrinate you. We don't want nobody else to come with some other type of message that is going to mess you guys up, and we don't want none of that. So don't listen to the other person. How the church, how people of this congregation, how are you going to sit there and tell somebody who just walked inside church, who just converted, who just this and that, to tell them not to be listening to another fellow believer because they're not a part of the clique. They're not part of the gang. I don't care, man. Hey, you come into the live and you leave the live, you come in, I don't care because you're running away from the truth. A lot of people run away from this specific truth, and then you wonder why your faith is so messed up. And then you wonder why you have doubts, and you wonder why things are happening in life because half of you guys are being told fairy tales about how life is. And like I said, I'm a believer, I'm straight in now. But I don't believe half the mess that's being told and how they're acting, because by your fruits you shall be judged. The Bible says that by your fruits. So you can stand up on the pulpit, you can stand up wherever you want to call it, and walk around there all holy and down, this and that. But I see you. And from what I've experienced and what I've seen has been nothing but what I've just said right now. Nothing what I said right now. So be funny, not funny. The next time when y'all encounter, let's say, another believer or whatever you want to call them, you might want to ask them what clique they belong to before you actually start spilling out your pearls among them and start telling them stuff, because you don't know that's going to come bite you right back in the butt. Baptism, we got Charismatic, we got Reform, we got Pentecost, we got Catholic, we got all kinds of different sets and cliques. Why nobody pay attention to this? Then the Bible said it was one body. One body. He didn't say that it's going to be one body, but I'm going to divide you guys into different little areas, different little sections, different this and that. That's why there's so much fighting. That's why I say there's so much confusion, so much messed up stuff. So, came on here real quick, to catch some people, spit some knowledge to some of you guys, let you guys know what's up, let you guys know what's happening. No, I'm not no preacher. No, I'm not a pastor. I'm not an evangelist. I'm not any of that. I'm here. I'm speaking raw. Raw, unfiltered. Today is one of those days, and this is how I feel, and this is how I'm coming across to everybody right now. Like I said, at the age I'm at right now, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody think about me. I don't care what nobody says at all. My faith is my faith. My walk is my walk. My journey is my journey. My healing is my healing. You don't like it, then keep it on moving. And I love everybody. But one thing that I don't do, you can ask anybody that know me. You go on my channel, you check out some of my videos. One thing they know about me, I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm not here trying to impress nobody. I'm here to do what I believe I've been called to do. At the same time, we got to call out. So if we spend a lot of time calling out people, we want to judge everybody, you want this and that, whatever. Okay, so let's spend a lot of time. Let's start getting inside these churches and let's start, unpacking some real stuff. Let's start unpacking some real things, because one thing, if you think about this real quick, right? You guys go to church because you don't want to learn more. You want to grow spiritually. You love God, love Jesus, just like I do. I love God, love Jesus, and all that, right? But at the same time, and kind of look at it this way. You're putting your eternity from the information that this person's saying up here in their hands. Think about that real quick. One thing I used to tell them at the last church I went to was that, look, the reason why I walk around here so serious half the time is because my eternity and my salvation is straight up, it's real. And I don't play with it. I'm not gonna play with nobody. Nobody at all. What time? Oh, I'm already gonna pass my time. See, when I get fired up, I get fired up. So either way, next time you guys encounter somebody, go ahead and ask them, well, just for curiosity, what church you go to? And I'm telling you, they're gonna break it down. They're gonna break it down. Boom, 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 boom. We got our core beliefs, we got this, we got that, we got boom. And they're gonna confuse you at the same time. Too much theology down people's throats. Let's get real with people, man. Either way, y'all stay blessed. Check it out. Spoken Truth Revival. Raw, unfiltered, but straight up, no sugarcoating, no nothing type of faith. Y'all be blessed now.